morning. Oh, croaky voice. Good morning on this Monday morning. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stumping Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and it is lovely to welcome you to come and join me as we do some crafting on this Monday morning. So we're a little bit overcast here in the UK today. Not quite the warm sunshine we've had all weekend, but that's okay. So good morning Emma. And who else have we got? Beryl, Valerie, morning Valerie. Lovely to see you. Hope everybody is well. Hope you've all had a good weekend, and I hope that you're all feeling bright and breezy this morning. Right, now let me just move some little bits out of the way. Not really been in my craft room very much over the weekend. I worked quite late on Friday, and then I've sort of taken a bit of a break over the weekend. I'm not sure whether that was a good thing or a bad thing, but we shall see. But I thought what we would do this weekend, you see, I've got weekend on the brain. What we would do this week is we'd have a look at some of the things, morning Glenda, that are retiring. That after the end of May we are no longer going to be able to get, and in fact it might be before the end of May if they sell out. So they're things that if you want them, you've got to get your hands on them. So I thought I'd showcase just a few of the things that I've got that I know are going, that I perhaps even haven't played with very much, certainly haven't played with on Facebook Lives. So I thought we'd have a bit of a play with a couple of bits this week, and then next week we'll perhaps have a look at some of the bundles that are carrying over, because of course the other thing with bundles is that quite often, although not all the time, quite often bundle prices don't carry over. So you'll be able to get it as a bundle price now. You won't be able to get it as a bundle price for some things in the new catalogue. So we'll showcase some of those, so that if they're things that are on your list, you need to get your hands on them sooner rather than later, before they run out. So this morning we're going to leave a little sparkle. This lovely little unicorn set. I actually made sure that I'd bought it because this is what I used to make my granddaughter's birthday card this year. Obviously, 4-year-old little girl. Unicorns are a big thing, and unicorns are quite a big thing at the moment. There's lots of unicorns about, and they absolutely give you the excuse to play with rainbows, which we're all doing at the moment. So a bit of rainbow unicorns is just fabulous. So I thought we'd have a little bit of playing with some unicorns this morning. So this lovely stamp set, it is a red rubber one, and you get this whole big unicorn. You get this sort of unicorn's head, and you get some nice swirls and things, and some lovely little sentiments. Leave a little sparkle wherever you go. Believe, make your dreams come true. Actually, lovely sentiments for putting on the front of things like journals as well. So that's certainly an idea. Right, so mermaids. What shall we do with our mermaids? I've got a few bits lying around, some sort of mermaidish colours, some sparkly things. So I think we shall be able to have fun. There was something else I wanted to grab, not that one, that one. So some of the things I'm going to be using along the way are also retiring, but yeah, so we need to make sure that we get our hands on things before they're all gone, if they haven't already gone. So if they have already gone, I apologise. I must admit I haven't checked this morning. I think we'll start. Let's start with a big mermaid, big unicorn. The mermaid is retiring as well, actually. So we do have a mermaid stamp, and she also is retiring, and she's quite nice for girly, magical, sparkly cards as well. Morning, Louise. But we're not doing mermaids today, we're doing unicorns. So what I've got here is a little piece of white glimmer paper. Now our glimmer paper is retiring. It's all going, all the colours. There is one pack of glimmer paper going to be in the new catalogue that is rather stunning. But these are all going, so that's very sad. That was a sad moment. Yeah, we have sad moments as well. That was a bit of mourning. Oh no. But let's play with it while we've still got it. And if you want it, go and check out. I don't know whether there's any left or whether it's all gone. But what I've got here, and I don't know how far this is going to go actually. We did a stencil class, an online stencil class. Was that last week? The week before? Is it just me, or are the days just blurring into one? About a week or so ago, we did a stencil class, and one of the things we did is we put some gorgeous grape ink in some rubbing alcohol in a spritzer or water, depending what we'd got, to use with our stencils. I have a little bit left in there. I don't know how far it's going to go, but let's do some spritzing. And I don't necessarily want to cover it all. I want it to be sort of a bit white and a bit purple. So there we go, ladies. Anybody that was on that class that said, what am I now going to do with half a thing of spritzed purple? You can spritz your glimmer paper. There we go. That's quite pretty, isn't it? And obviously, because mine's in rubbing alcohol, that will dry relatively quickly, but will be smelly. So it's stinky when it comes out, but it dries much quicker and gives a much more intensity of colour, was I think our general decision. So if you've got your colour in alcohol rather than water, it does tend to give you a bit more intensity of colour. And obviously the other thing about it is it doesn't warp your card quite so much. The downside is that it probably won't be quite so easy to get by, whereas, 2 months ago, the only people searching Amazon for rubbing alcohol was probably us. Now lots of people are searching it to make their own hand sanitizers, so I suspect the price may have gone up as well. But that will settle. That will settle. So there we are. Angie, lovely to be seeing you too. So we've got our white glimmer card. We have given it a bit of a gorgeous grape spritz. Obviously that doesn't look gorgeous grape. It looks like a really deep pink, but very pretty. So that will be a nice background for our unicorn to sit on, because this one we are going to seriously glitz up. So let's find a little piece of, I think we're going to have shimmery white cardstock because we're going to play about with him a bit. So we want to make sure that he is going to stand up to water and things being added to him. And obviously our shimmery cardstock will withstand that messing about, as well as giving its own little element of shimmer as well. So let's ink him up, and we're going to stamp him in StazOn, because we are going to be adding colour and things to him. So we want to make sure that not only does the paper stand up to that, but also that the ink stands up to that. Let's ink him all over with our StazOn. Obviously you could, if you wanted a horse rather than a unicorn, mask off or chop off his horn. Shh, don't tell him. But we're not going to do that. We are going to leave him in his full horned glory. Now what I've got here is look, not even opened it, a brand new Wink of Stella brush. So it's quite useful if you've never had a Wink of Stella, because these do, setting them up the first time can be a little bit of a puzzle if you've never done one. So morning Sarah. So Wink of Stella, I'm going to undo it to start with, because I need to take that little black ring off just there before putting it back in. Now the reason it gets sent to you packaged with that black ring is so that none of the goodness from inside your pen flows out while it's travelling to you. So what you need to do then is, having put it back together without its black ring, hello Amanda, you need just to give it a bit of a squeeze. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that Wink of Stella coming down the barrel there? Oh, look, I'm blobbing onto my page. That proves that we are now running. Squeeze just a little bit too hard. But that's okay because we're cutting him out anyway. Look how shiny that is. I'll blob it up. Just look at the glitz in that. Isn't that fab? I'm going to shimmer and shine. Oh, Angie, thank you. I'm going to shimmer and shine all day. So the first thing I'm going to do is the main body of him. I'm just going to paint over with the Wink of Stella because I'm going to leave that relatively white. And obviously you're not really going to see this very much because perhaps in a minute I might be able to pick it up in the light. But I promise you there is a layer of shimmeriness going down onto that unicorn. So our whole unicorn is now shimmery. Let's see if we can get the light to pick that up. You can certainly see that there's something there, can't you? It's not, it looks more like just wet, but that is all shimmery. I've got a lot of sunshine here. Quite often actually it's the artificial light that picks it up rather than the sunlight. There we go, look. Oh, I don't know. There, just there. You can see how shimmery shiny our unicorn is now. So that's our, I'm going to give him a little bit more on his bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour his mane. I'm going to carry on using my Wink of Stella so that we carry on getting shimmer, but I'm going to add in some colours. Now let's have a look. Hi Karen. We'll have a bit of Coastal Cabana. There's a bit of Gorgeous Grape. I think we'll go Flirty Flamingo. So there we are, there's some nice unicorny colours. Not got much in that lid, but probably enough for what I need. Oh, everything is falling down around us. So I'm going to use my Wink of Stella now as a paintbrush. Because it is just a one-way barrel on your brush, the colour doesn't go back up into your glitter, so you can happily do this without risk. See, I risked doing it on a brand new brush. I wouldn't do that if I thought for any minute. I'm going to cut my unicorn out, so I'm not worried about too much paint if I go over edges. I'm just going to, on my scrap bit of paper or whatever, just give that a rub, make sure we've got rid of all the green. Let's come in with some pink. So of course, not only are we painting it, we're adding in glitter. So not only is he a rainbow-tailed, or she, a rainbow-tailed unicorn, but they are a glittery rainbow-tailed unicorn. And I think we'll have some Gorgeous Grape. Again, we're not going to worry too much if we come over, we are going to cut him out. It's lovely to have you Down Under ladies with us this morning, as always. Well, this morning for us, this evening for you. Right. I think I might give him a bit of a pink horn. Why not? Just because I can. And I think we'll have some Coastal Cabana hooves again, because we can. There. What a pretty unicorn. I'm going to put my top on my Wink of Stella for now. You may well come back to some of these. not sure how well that will show up. Probably not at all. You'll just have to trust me that that unicorn is very sparkly. Good viewing. Come back at night. Come back at night when you've got the artificial lights on, and they really do. That's when it really does sparkle. Oh, there we go. It's amazing, isn't it, how the sort of pick up the shimmer on there. Shimmer and shine unicorn. So let's find some snips. And we'll cut round our blob. And we'll cut round our unicorn. We're not going to get too mad about cutting little ends off his mane. It's lovely to see all the hearts. Thank you very much. $6.18. But still early evening. We're now just gone 9 here. So we have the day ahead of us. I think looking at all the hearts and seeing those things go, that's lovely. One of the things I have been trying to do fairly regularly during this lockdown is I do have 2 young grandchildren that obviously I'm not getting to see, which is really hard. But one is 4 and one is 3, so they are wonderful. But I set up a little private group that's only the family in it. And I have been telling stories. I feel in quite good company actually, because I noticed yesterday that Sarah Ferguson has Prince Andrew's sort of ex-wife, whatever their relationship is now, has got a YouTube channel where she's telling children's stories. So obviously I'm in good company. But I just go on and I tell them stories which they go back to and watch time and time again, and it's quite a nice way of keeping in contact with them and for them to be able to hear my voice and those sorts of things. But my grandson will often comment, oh, Angie, I think, I know that you've been in a lot of pain, but I think there's a lot of people that aren't sleeping properly at the moment. I think there's just too much going on in our heads, to be honest. But my little grandson, he leaves comments. They're absolute nonsense. They're lots of emojis and random words, but it is rather fabulous that he's not only watching the stories, but he's sending me comments. Apparently he watches his while he's doing his work in the mornings. I think when we talk about work, we're talking about when he's playing with his workbench, or my daughter's not got him homeschooling quite yet. Right, so there we are. Let's just cut out, I did cut out, it just didn't snip out quite enough. Let's cut that out, that's a bit better. There we go, so there we have our rainbow unicorn. And we've got our lovely spritzed background in there. I have got some gorgeous grape card here. I know. It is fab, isn't it, Amanda? We do have to keep, in contact with them as much as we can. my grandson had a new bed. They'd had a new bed delivered, and they put it up over the weekend, and so we had a video chat with him as he showed us his new bed. He must have been on there for half an hour non-stop chatting about this bed. It was just delightful. He did not stop, because he's got pirate bedding on it, and he's got some bunting around the outside, and so we had to see his flags and everything that was on his duvet, and just delightful. All his books under his bed, because it's like a little cabin bed. Right, so there we are. We have a square of gorgeous grape there. Morning, Jackie. And we have our, Jackie, just in time, we have our glimmer paper that we have spritzed with our gorgeous grape bottle. Mine's nearly empty now. Look, there's not much left in there. Not going to get much more out of there. I think I've spritzed my last gorgeous grape onto that piece of Whisper White. And we have painted our unicorn with our Wink of Stella brush. So the unicorn himself is glitzed up, although that won't show up very well, as is his mane and things. Now, we need some other things on there, don't we? Let's have a think. Oh, I think I might. I'm just looking around, because somewhere I had some vellum. So I think I'm going to find what shall we have? Some sort of nice shape in the background there. I'm going to cut hand painting. How fab. Getting messy. I hope you were painting your hands as well, Amanda, as well as theirs. My grandchildren are incredibly lucky. I am very lucky, as I'm sure everybody else is very lucky, but I know that I'm very lucky in that both of my daughters, although currently furloughed and not working, work in early years. So I know that you know, when it comes to activities and things, although it's not me doing them with them, I know that they are very well looked after in that department, creating things. Had some lovely pictures that they've sent, showing us things that they've made and done, and you know, things that my daughters have put out for them to play with. And I have said to my girls, imagine that, you know, if you're struggling, imagine how people that haven't got the first idea where to start with playing with little ones. And because there are so many people that really don't know how to play. So they are lucky in that respect. And my grandchildren are very lucky. Right, let's find some Versamark. So I've cut a circle of vellum, and I've Bossing Buddy. And Bossing Buddy is going. Can you believe that? So if you need one of those, get your hands on it now. Stock up. They haven't already gone. I know they are the sort of thing that you can buy elsewhere, but even so. So I'm just going to stamp top and bottom this swirl, And then I'm going to find the silver embossing powder. You'll be pleased to know the silver embossing powder is not retiring. That is staying. I haven't used everything that's retiring today. Wink of Stella is staying. All good for those things. You have to go through a period, and I do every year. You get your new catalogue and you look through it and you're absolutely so excited about all the new things. And believe me, I am so excited. One of the things I did over the weekend was I did sit down and write my wish list, which is very long, as usual. But then having gone through the mass excitement, you then suddenly realise the things that are retiring. And you have to go through a period of mourning for those. You have to be sad that you're not going to be able to play with that and that and that and that. And then that passes and you get back into excitement again. That's certainly the way that I go. That certainly is my pattern. But there are things that you might want to get your hands on, and that's why I wanted to highlight 3 and 4, yep, same as mine, Amanda. Fabulous ages. My granddaughter will be going to school in September. She's very excited by that. Right, there we go. Obviously being vellum, that turns really quickly. So we have some more silver sparkle on there to sit behind our unicorn. I'm going to put him up a little bit because I'm going to use one of these sentiments. I think we'll leave a little sparkle wherever you go. I know. And every year, so this year I've thought to myself, no, I need to be a little bit controlled this year. I need to think about what I'm going to have. I do that every year. But still, it's all a bit mad. I will need to be a bit more, I'll perhaps get a little bit at a time. It's pretty, isn't it? It just adds that little bit of extra sparkle. It wanted something else, but it didn't want to be anything too heavy. So that little bit of sparkle. So now to decide what we're going to stamp onto with our leave a little sparkle. I think we'll go with another oval to sort of keep that shape. That one looks as if it will just about fit on, which is all we need it to do, is just about fit on. Now I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to actually paint this piece of shimmery, although it is shimmery. I'm going to paint it first with our Wink of Stella. I'm going to leave that just a minute to dry. I've done it that way because if I was to stamp it, let's just give it a bit of a blast. If I was to stamp it first and then put Wink of Stella over it, it would obviously bleed. But hopefully, having done it this way, it won't. We are about... got their new catalogues. I think ours is going to be quite a lot. Our post is very slow at the moment. I'm not holding out my hope there. Bless them, the post is just inundated. So there we go, that didn't bleed, so that's good. So we've added a little bit of sparkle in the background. and then stamped that on the top. I think I may I'm going to take this mat from the back. I'm going to cut a scalloped oval from the middle of it. That's better, needs a bit of a pop. Hi Jane. Beautiful. What have we got? What have we got in the way of pretty blingy things? I'm just thinking I've picked colours there that I don't have any blends to match, but just flicking through my iridescent sequins might be. Oh no, they're not the iridescent ones. Iridescent sequins are also retiring. We could pick out some of these. Oh, the sticky end isn't on my pokey picky up tool, but we won't worry about that. Let's pick out some of these bluey coloured ones, because, hi Wendy, that will pick up the fact that they are iridescent. They sort of tend to pick up the colour around them as well. So they will add in a little bit of the, they'll pick up a bit of the purple. Beautiful. I think we're ready to stick that together. It's a shame I haven't got any blends to match that. I could colour them. I'm rifling around now in my box of Stampin' White markers. Let's see how well our twine reacts to these. Obviously they're going to stay a bit wetter than the blends would, but we'll have a bit of gorgeous grape going on there. And a bit of Coastal Cabana. And oh, bit of flirty bingo. Let's snip that off. Let me just grab something to wipe my mat. Oh, I know what I need to grab. Apologies if you wobble a bit. Let's grab our Simply chamois. Dry my hands a bit. Oh, now I've knocked all my sequins off, look. Dear, oh dear. That wasn't clever, Helen. We'll find some more. Right, let's tie a bow with our tri-coloured twine. Oh, it's quite funky, isn't it? So it's got a little bit of white left in there, but actually, well, if we turn it over, not so much. That's a bit funky. That will look quite pretty, bringing all of those colours on there. Right, let's start sticking. Got two of my sequins. Just seem to be missing the baby one. We'll find another one in a minute. You can see where that spritz has come all the way through to the underneath. So that's our making tea. I take it it's ETT rather than cups of tea, Amanda. I always have to have my cup of tea with me. Actually, it's quite funny. That's what I've always imagined, that you sort of, that the ladies that join me from Australia, that if it's that time of the day, that you've almost got me propped up in the kitchen on your iPad. It's where I've imagined myself being. Right, I'm going to put a bit of snail on the back of the unicorn and stick that to that vellum so that the whorls are where we want them to be, sort of either side. And then that leaves us then this nice area to put glue on the back of the vellum. I might need to go back in and actually make that tombow because it is glimmer paper underneath. I'll give it a good press, but I might need to go back and do that at some point. Let's put some dimensionals underneath our greeting. We have our rainbow bow. We'll decide in a minute. Let's put on our sequins. We'll have one there, one down here. And we want one more. And of course my picky thing isn't on its tool, so it's lost in the melee on my desk. Right, we are going to need a card base for that, so let's get some Whisper White thick cardstock, and I am going to have to revert to my old trimmer because I still haven't got a scoring blade. And I'm going to cut this piece of A4 card, and this obviously would be different depending on where you are in the world. I'm going to cut it at 14.9 that way, because then, no, I don't need to do that. I want it a 5-inch one. So let's cut it at 12.5 centimetres, 5 inches, something like that, that way. And then 10 inches that way. Scored at 5 to make a nice 5-inch card base. These aren't the most economical use of your cardstock, but he is quite nice, framed in a square. I'll put him on there like that. And if I could see my coloured bow, I would say that we would add that coloured bow. Have I whisked it onto the floor? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yes, I have. No wonder I can't see it, having gone to all that effort, apologies, to colour it. Throw it on the floor. Let's put a little glue dot on the back of our coloured thread. And let's try that once more with feeling. The glue dot obviously stopped behind. And a little tri-coloured bow. So leave a little sparkle wherever you go. So our unicorn, although he may not show up in this light, is completely coloured in Wink of Stella. Ooh. Morning, Janice. So you can just about pick up the shimmer. So we've coloured the whole unicorn in Wink of Stella. We've then used our Wink of Stella to pick up our coloured inks to paint his mane and his tail. And we added some Wink of Stella to the back of that greeting before we stamped on it. So we certainly are going to leave a little sparkle wherever we go with that card. So that's one card using that fabulous unicorn stamp set that we are saying goodbye to in the coming days. Just going to add in a little bit more green around his hair. But let's have a little look at the other unicorn in the stamp set. Can't leave a unicorn behind. So this one is this unicorn here with flowers in her hair. And I'm actually going to reach behind me and in a drawer behind me, and that's only because of saying to you just now that would make a great notebook. I actually have some notebooks, look at that, waiting to be decorated. I think we need to do something with this notebook and this unicorn. You can tell how much I've thought about it. Let's take that label off. So now we have a blank notepad waiting for us to decorate it. We're going to need some papers. Obviously all of the papers retire, they always do every year. So we always say a sad goodbye to papers. But it's just deciding which paper is going to give us a magical unicorn background. Right, I'm on my way back. I think we'll go with this one from the Woven Threads suite. So let us measure our notebook. It is, we're going to need a bit of paper that's about 14, let's say 14 centimetres by 21. Let's cut ourselves some paper. Perfect. And we will stick that firmly down on our notebook frontage. And then we'll have a little look at, I think if we go for the, we could actually go for something new, to go with something new as well as something retiring. I think we'll take a stitched rectangle to go with that, because the nice thing about these lovely beautiful ornate frames is that the stitched rectangles do work really beautifully with them. Oh, we have a husky a couple of doors up, and of course huskies are very vocal, and he's been very vocal this morning, bless him. So let us cut some shimmery white cardstock with that stitched rectangle, then that will give us our canvas on which to play with our unicorn. I think our frame wants to be Seaside Spray, I think, to pick out that blue that's just splattered around in there. So let me grab some, see what I've got in my, have I got a big enough piece of Seaside Spray in my oddments bag? I think so. Now I'm just looking at that, and there is some bits still not poked out from the last time that I used this. That was naughty of me. So I am going to poke those out now. That's because I'd have done it on a live probably when we were playing with this, and put it to one side and then just put it away. So I will poke those out, because you always want to make sure you do poke out your dies. because if your little holes are bunged up with card, you've got nowhere for the piece of card that you're now cutting to go, so you might not get a clean cut on it. How are we doing there? That's looking better. We've got little bits of holy confetti everywhere, but we can get rid of those. Right, so let's cut out this ornate frame. Obviously, it is a very ornate frame. It's die, so it might need a couple of run-throughs of the machine to get the result we're after. So what I will do is I will run it through twice, and then I'll have a look, but obviously that does need to go through again, so I'm going to turn it over and turn it round. Have another look. I think my machine may be slightly getting losing pressure slightly in the middle rollers, which often it does if it's going to lose it anywhere. That's it. So I can see that most of that has fallen out, but can see that all of that is going to come out quite nicely. And it was just a question of turning the die round in my machine and being patient, because if I'd have got a pair of scissors or a knife, there was no way I could have cut this out. Not only in that time, but probably in any time would I have got a nicely even spaced out frame like that. So we've got our blue frame. Oh no, Angie. Right, so we've got our frame, we've got our nice background for our unicorn. So let's bring him in. And I think this time I'm going to stamp him in Memento. And then bring in my blends, I think. Yes, just thinking what colour blends have I got, but yes, I think we'll stamp him in Memento, and then we'll use blends to colour him in this time. Right, I'm going to stamp him on here so he's towards the bottom but not right at the bottom, because I think we're going to sponge that round in a minute to soften the edges on that. Isn't he lovely? He, she, I don't know, whatever. Good, you've been getting your creations ready to go. That's a good plan. Planning in your head so that you're ready to go as soon as. Right, let's have a look. Purple Posy. And light smoky slate, I think I'm going to want. Oh, you're in the wrong box. Let's move you. I might want a bit of petal pink. Some seaside spray. There's some Pretty Peacock. I'm not sure whether we'll be using Pretty Peacock, but I'll grab that out anyway. There's Rococo Rose. So the only colour we don't have in the blends is the Terracotta Tile. There's the dark purple Posy. dark Rococo Rose. So we've got Rococo Rose, Purple Posy. We just need the, got both Balmy Blues. I want the light Seaside Spray. Are you? Yes. So those are the in colour blends we've got, and of course it's in colour paper that is in the background then there. So let's have a look. I'm going to take the light smoky slate, let's put the lid on that glue so it doesn't dry, and I'm just going to come round the sort of edges. So I'm still going to leave my unicorn basically white, but just the shadowy edges I'm going to do with light smoky slate, just so that the white in the middle pops. So that's if you put grey and things around the outside or a pale colour of some sort, it just helps the white to pop out. And then I think we'll have some Purple Posy. I'm going to use the light Rococo Rose. Might add in a little bit of light Pretty Peacock. Not sure if there's any Pretty Peacock in the paper. And what I might do is might add in a little touch. Let's have a look of might just add in a little touch of light Parisian Craze, just because that's going to be the nearest to the terracotta tile probably. So let's just, and obviously with the blends you can, whereas we did blocks of colour when we were painting, you can sort of do more different strands of mane with the blends, because you've got that finer tip on your pen, so you can make it much more sort of rainbow. Rainbow-like. Or at least a finer rainbow. And let's have a bit of light Seaside Spray. Might make the horn Seaside Spray actually. And obviously you can be much more precise about where these are going. If you're not doing it in such a hurry, let's come in with this light Cajun Craze. How's that? So that's his mane, sort of multicoloured mane going on there. We've got coloured all around here. Oh, ears. Let's just come around the edge of his ears with that soft smoky slate. And then we've got these beautiful flowers, so I think I'll come in with the slightly darker tones. So we'll have some Rococo Rose. And let's have the dark purple Posy in the centres. There we go. So let's see how that's looking on there. That's rather pretty. So that pops with that blue in the background. I'm going to grab, hopefully, going to grab the Seaside Spray sponge and the Seaside Spray ink, because we've got Seaside Spray going around the outside. Let me just put some ink on my sponge, and we will just bring that in around those edges. Bit of a blob there. No mistakes, only opportunities for embellishments. We will think of something to pop on there. That will be a positioning for a gem or something. And we'll come around this side. So that's just softened those edges up. Beautiful. Now there's a Make Your Dreams Come True. I think we'll have it as a separate. So let's come down with another frame. Scrabbling around in my oddments. Perfect. Oh, it moved. Let's try that once more with feeling. I think we're good to go on that one. Let's just give it a good all over brush, get rid of most of the bits, and then we can just pick out the remaining ones. Oh, come on, little petals, you don't want to come out. They want to stay in. No, no, don't make us come out. It's all of those little flower centres. There we go. Excellent. Shake that over the bin. And then we'll need a stitched rectangle to go with that. That one looks perfect. Just like that. So we will stamp this Make Your Dreams Come True, and we'll do that in Memento 2 so that it is nice and bold, hopefully. And then again we'll take our sponge and sponge around the edge. Bye Amanda. Hi Jackie. I think I've got an idea for a present for somebody actually, Valerie. But yep, absolutely. Make your dreams come true. That would be a good sort of journal to a good book to write down your plans and your hopes and your dreams. That's what I was thinking. Lovely. Now, also in this stamp set there is some little stars. I think again with the seaside. Just going to add. Oh, look at that. I've blobbed on there now. Oh, that will have to be another embellishment, won't it? I've got inky fingers. It's a nice fingerprint. Let's make sure I haven't got any more fingerprints on there. Okay, it's looking rather pretty. Haven't got any of the Seaside Spray shimmery ribbon left, which is a shame because that would have been perfect. So I'm going to stick those together. One on there. That one on there. I am going to use my Tombow to stick those to the front. The chances are they might be in and out of bags and things if you're giving them to somebody as a journal. So we want to make sure they're not going anywhere. And to tie some ribbons on this side. Let's see what we've got. So some white and some petal pink and Rococo rose. Got some lacy ribbon here. This is a good way for using up oddments of ribbon. If like me, you've got a big box of retired ribbon. Have a bit of lacy ribbon. I'm going to put the lid on that ink pad because I can see disaster striking there. Now, I think the trouble with that one is it might not, once it's a beautiful ribbon, but I think once it's tied, because it's not pink on both sides, I think we might lose something with that one. So I'm just going to stick with those 3 ribbons, I think, there. And then we just want something. Ooh, what have we got in the way? So obviously all these sorts of things are retirement. Oh, I don't know whether these are actually. No, I think the faceted gems might be, faceted dots might be carrying over. I have one here. I've got a blue one. A couple of the little purple posy ones down here. And I might actually add in some rhinestones as well up amongst the stars. Not sure about that one, although I need to put something there to cover that, perhaps. No, that's definitely too much. I'll have a think about what I'm going to put in there, because I think this one is too big and too heavy to sit there, but obviously I'm going to need to put something there because I have a blob. You always need to think about what you're going to cover up with your blobs. Oh, we have got some woven thread sequins. In fact, that might be a better option. We could have a little cluster of sequins. Coming round like that, almost like a little necklace. I think something like that will cover my blob much better. Okay, so we have a journal that we've created with our mermaid. Make your dreams come true. So just a pretty little journal and an extremely glittery card to ensure that you leave a little sparkle wherever you go. So thank you for joining me to play with mermaids this morning. Take us off into Fantasyland. We obviously have this nice little band that comes around here to keep our journal together. And come back again tomorrow and we'll play with something else. But don't forget, if you want to get your hands on this beautiful unicorn stamp set, you need to do it quickly. If you want to go and see if there's any glimmer paper left, you need to do that quickly. If you want an embossing buddy, all of those things that we're saying goodbye to, make sure that you get them in your basket before they're gone. And I'll see you in the morning.